Women lie, men lie, but numbers don't. That's what they say. Well, you have some Errol Spence supporters, advocate, fanboys, or whatever, now coming around suggesting to me that Errol Spence can even be the A side to Canelo, being the fact that he pulled in better numbers, And even though it's preposterous what they're saying, the proof is in the pudding. But let's talk about these numbers. Let's talk about Errol Spence outselling Canelo Alvarez. First, let's look at the factors why. Okay? I told everybody this return fight was going to do great numbers. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I've told you this. Why? I broke down all the elements. Okay? It has a backstory. It has a drop, and people will tune in just to see if he is the same fighter. That fight was guaranteed to do well. Even though people talk their shit and like, no. You guys don't know the elements of the game. Okay? Let's look at another reason why Errol Spence pulled out better numbers than Canelo Alvarez. I keep telling people, you think because you fanboy for Canelo, it makes up for the fact that he picks shitty opponents in non-interesting fights. I don't even watch Canelo fights. I don't, because I already know the outcome. You're not going to beat the guy on the scorecard. And even if you do go 12 rounds, you're going to get fucking robbed. And he ain't fighting nobody that raises an eyebrow on top of fake fights. But, some people going to get up in their panties about it. So I digress on that. The bottom line is, this is the result of Canelo Alvarez keep matching up with bullshit ass opponents. People are not interested till somebody like Errol Spence, who should not be able to do it, can outsell Canelo Alvarez. Okay? So those are the elements. Errol Spence coming off the accident. People want to see if he's still holding it together. And he's coming off the accident fighting a pretty stiff opponent versus Canelo Alvarez picking shitty opponents. This is where you get the result of what you're seeing right now. This is why Errol Spence pulled out better fucking numbers. Now, what's the downside to this? This feeds into the whole A side, B side when it comes to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. Yeah, it feeds into it, And at some point in time, if you want to see the fight, Terrence Crawford is going to have to succumb or give in to this whole A side, B side if you want to get the fight done, because it's clear that Errol Spence's team wants to fight him when he's old. They don't want to fight him when he's prime. These boxers are not set up like boxers of the past. Everything is to finagle and swindle your way into a win. But as far as taking flat out, true blue risk, hardcore 50-50 fights, these era of boxers are not trying to do that. And I'm going to digress on the boxers a little bit, and I'm going to say these promoters don't want to do that. How these promoters and whatever have so much control over these boxers, I will never fucking know. It's your pound of flesh at the end of the day. But I know they're advising you, like, look, man, my job is to get you the most money out your career. These people don't care about you. Boxing doesn't care about you. They'll leave you, with half your faculties and broke and stuff like that. And it's true. So these boxers go in and go ahead and listen to these guys, because there's no retirement plan for no boxer. There's nothing. And y'all don't give a fuck about these guys the second they hang the gloves up. So it is true. All right. So part of that is boxing's fault, for mistreating boxers for so fucking long. Now that these guys get smart and wised up, they want to take as many advantages as they can because the sport of boxing is so fucking dirty. Can't blame them. We ain't got nobody to blame but ourselves. Period. But that's why when it comes to this number shit, I don't really get into it, but I understand it plays a factor. But I definitely will not get into money and all that other stuff. I'm just bringing up the simple fact is this is the result of making an interesting matchup versus somebody. Basically this, How does Errol Spence, somebody who has nowhere near the clout of Canelo, outsell the so-called face of boxing? That's because the face of boxing helped him get in that position by picking weak-ass opposition, okay? These soft-ass fights that nobody is fucking interested in. So at the end of the day, Canelo Alvarez fans, you're going to have to bow down to Eroll, you know, because this is accurate, whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, where anybody likes it or not. This is the result of so-called face of boxing, picking shitty-ass fights. And this is the results of Errol Spence's car accident coming to fruition. And people want to see, does he still got it? Does he still, you know what I'm saying, can he still throw him? Does he got everything still intact? This is the result of all that. And in the end, it resulted in Errol Spence outselling the so-called face of boxing. Period. Now, as you see, Tank's right up under there. So this is to be said. When it comes to the PBC, they obviously, due to numbers, have the most stars out of any boxing roster. Tank Davis is arguably the most entertaining fighter in boxing right now. As far as a casual standpoint, Tank Davis is the modern Tyson. Believe it or not. You know, and that has to do with PBC. Now, a lot of people knock PBC for doing a lot of shit. But one thing I noticed about how y'all treat PBC, y'all don't give PBC credit when they deserve to get their fucking credit. You guys are so used to trying to shit on them that it's hard for you to give them any fucking credit. That's why I always practice balance. You know, I praise the Charlos for their card. I love that card. That was a great card. I praise Errol Spence for coming off the car crash doing what he did. You know what I'm saying? I'm liking Tank more and more. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm not seeing him in quite the fights that I want to see, the kid is entertaining. At the end of the day, Tank is entertaining. Period. You know? So this is just a little shit that was on my mind. I figure I'll put it on your mind and see what you guys got to say about it, because it's an interesting factor. But nonetheless, this is a result of a car accident. People want to see if the guy is still the same man. And this is also the result of the so-called face of boxing not acting like the face of boxing. He got outsold by somebody who has no business outselling him. That's just my thoughts for now. Bruce Van, I'm out.